Hello everybody, my name is Dave Anthony Sadadakati. I'm going to show you how to play Aura-Lee, that wonderful folk song you just heard. I like to play things that are very simple but yet sound really good. And that's what this is. We're going to play the chord melody style. The chord melody style uses chords and single notes to have a very beautiful effect on the guitar. Usually it's a solo guitar style. We're going to alternate playing multiple strings with the pick with playing single strings with the pick. So that's chords and notes. Another aspect of the chord melody style that I should tell you is that we're going to hold our fingers in the chord forms, even though we may not be playing all the strings. And we're going to use our free finger to get additional notes. So I'm going to demonstrate that right now. So I'm going to play a C chord, and then I'm going to play an additional note with my pinky, which is the free finger. So we got, so that's one example. Another example of the chord melody style, we're going to only play certain strings of the chord. So like this. I'm holding the whole chord, but I'm only playing strings 5, 4, and 3. Or I may be playing strings 2, 3, and 4. So those are certain examples of what the technique is. But let's get to the actual song. So we're going to start with the first beat, which is a partial chord of the C form. Then we're playing a single note on the second string. Now we're going to move to the C major 7th chord. Then we put our first finger back on the C, and we hit that as a single note. So let's go over that again. That's pretty simple. Let's take a look at the next movement, or the next measure. We've got a D chord with an F sharp in the bass. Now I'm not going to be playing the top string at all. So the form I'm showing you on the screen looks like this. Okay? And once again, we're going to use a chord, then a single note, a chord, and a single note. So we're going to strike this chord up to the second string. Then the single tone on the next beat is the third string, or the A. Then we have a chord again, and that's held for 2 beats. So the fourth beat we're not going to play on that. The next measure, equally as simple. We're going to be playing a G suspended 4 chord. Now we're going to put our third finger on the 6th string on the G note. We're going to use the flesh of the third finger to deaden the 5th string. Even though the 6th string will sound, the 5th string won't. And then we're going to put our first finger on the C tone on the 2nd string. And that's the effect that you get, the G suspended 4. So let's play that. So that's the first and second beats. Now the third beat is another chord, but we're going to drop in our middle finger on the A tone on the 3rd string. That's what we get. And then you're going to move your pick to the second string on the B, and that's the fourth beat of that measure. Then we make a C chord, but we're only going to play the interior 4 strings. Let's recap that. The next 4 measures are the exact duplicate. So let's move on to the next section. The next section of the song, we're going to start with a C chord. We're going to move to an E7. From the E7 we move to A minor. From A minor we move to C7. Then we go to F major 7, F minor 6, and then a C chord again. It sounds like a lot, but we're going to go very, very slow, and we'll show you how to do it. So we're going to start with the C chord, but this time we're going to play the C chord 5 strings. We're going to eliminate string number 6. And then we hit the solo note on the E string at the top. So I'll try that again. Now we move to the E7 chord. Okay, so let's try that again. Now we have an A minor. And now the C7. So let's take a look at that movement again from the C chord. So those are the first 2 measures of this B section of the song. Let's take a look at the 3rd and 4th measure. So the 3rd measure starts with an F major 7 chord. And we're going to strike the top 4 strings like that. And now we're going to drop in the pinky as I demonstrated earlier. So we got that. And I dropped it in on a D note. Now the 3rd chord is very simple. It's an F minor 6th. That's usually played like this, but we're only going to strike strings 2, 3, and 4. See? So we got that. Then we're going to drop the pinky in again to make a single tone. And now, finally, we have a big C chord strumming the 5 strings, eliminating string 6. So let's take a look at that again. Not very hard, but it sounds wonderful. The final section of the song is very easy to play. We're going to hit a C chord, and we're going to do a chord that has a fancy name, A7 augmented 5. Or sometimes you'll see it written A7 plus 5. We're going to make that plus 5 chord very easily. And I'll show you how I like to do that A7 plus 5. I like to come up here on the 5th fret, put my first finger on the G tone on the 4th string, put my second finger on the C sharp note on the 3rd string, and my 3rd or 4th finger on the F tone on the 2nd string. And I'm going to strike the interior 4 strings. And that's the sound of the A7 augmented 5. So let's go over those measures. We have a chord and a single note. Now the A7 plus 5. Now I'm going to let the pick continue to the E string open. And now we're going to get a break here. We're going to use that D chord with the F sharp and the bass and very, very simply play that similar to what we did earlier. Okay. Now we're going to use the G suspended. And then the final new chord is a G6/7. Again, it's a fancy name, but it's really easy to play. We're just going to take the third finger, hold the F tone on the 4th string, and we're going to strum strings 1, 2, 3, and 4. Beautiful sound we have there. So that's the G6/7. So we're going to play it like this. And then we drop the pinky in again to get the D. And then to finish up the song, we have the C chord with the interior 4 strings. So that's the way you play orally. It's not really very hard. I do recommend that you practice every day. Practicing every day is so important. It's the magic of music. You start out not being able to do something, and with daily practice on a regular basis, before you know it, you can accomplish what you haven't been able to play previously. Don't over practice. Practice until your fingers are slightly tired. Then you can practice multiple times in one day if you like, but just keep it regular. Remember, 15 minutes of practice every day is better than 2 hours of practice on one day. It really is. Have fun with the guitar. I hope you learned something from this video, and I hope to see you again soon.